This is my review of the Tiger Phoenix XB two-wheel drive buggy. When I went to buy this, I did try to do a little research. Weren't a whole lot of review videos, couple of running videos, not much really. One review that did help me is it said that it is basically a team associated B3. Thunder Tiger owns Team Associated, so they just branded it under the Phoenix name, and voila. Now the upgrade though is it has a brushless system and a 2.4 gigahertz radio. When I bought this, I got it from Tower Hobbies, $200 shipped. I mean that's quite cheap. If you look at a Traxxas Bandit VXL, which is a two-wheel drive buggy that's brushless, that's over $300. So this is pretty cheap for a brushless, ready-to-run model. I like it, but I want to make clear that I had some issues with this one out of the box. Take the body off here. One of the issues was just wiring things. There was a zip tie on this wire, but it was not looped enough times. You could hang easily outside the body. You'll see that I have a zip tie on the motor wires. That wasn't there originally. There was nothing to keep these wires from getting hit by the shock or the camber link. And the wires are not long enough to loop them through the shock tower. I don't know why you wouldn't. That's the way I would have done it. I would have had the wires a little longer and through the shock tower. So I had to do it with the zip tie. Another thing is, this doesn't look pretty, but this is a Dean's plug. It came with a Tamiya. There's no reason to be putting Tamiya plugs on brushless vehicles. That just doesn't cut it. Now when I went to first drive it, here's where I really had some issues. Put it down on the ground, pull the trigger, motor goes, buggy doesn't. Slipper clutch was way too loose. So that's just it's a minor thing, an assembly thing. The bigger one was once I had the slipper clutch going, I'd steer straight and it's the wheels are like that. I tried adjusting the trims on the radio all the way and it still wasn't straight. I had to take my servo off, take the servo saver off, center the steering trim on the radio, put the servo saver back on, put the servo back in the truck. So I basically had to adjust the servo saver correctly right out of the box. And that's a pretty poor assembly thing right there. Once I had that taken care of though, I only had two remaining kind of issues. One is that on a 2S Lipo pack, this brushless buggy only does 27 miles an hour. And there's just really no reason for that. Thunder Tiger put literally the smallest pinion gear that you can fit on this buggy on it with a standard spur gear. And there's really no reason. As you can see, I currently have, short course tires, which are quite a bit bigger than the buggy tires. And when the stock spur gear had stripped on me, I used a Traxxas Nitro Rustler. This is 7 teeth larger than the stock gear. 7 teeth larger, much larger tires, and I'm still not overheating this system or motor. They're still running safe temps on a 2S Lipo. Now it's doing more 35, maybe just shy of 40 miles an hour, which is more what it should have done out of the box in my opinion. This buggy does have a ball differential. It's adjustable, which is quite nice. It has CVDs for drive shafts. I had no issues with the drivetrain. I have had, eventually I had to adjust the ball diff as it kind of got broken in. But like I said, I've had 20 packs through this. That's about 10 hours of runtime, so that's quite a bit. And most of that, some was on the track, but most of it was bashing it. That's why I'm, the wing, it's been hitting the ground, and it's been bashed pretty hard. In that time, I have broken one shock tower and broke this rear motor mount, and that's it. Oh, one other thing out of the box is the on-off switch here, which I have taped down the chassis. That was just free, moving wherever it wanted to. Maybe they thought they should leave it free so you could put it where you want, but that was a little strange. This is one of these 2.4s that also has a ridiculously long antenna for no real reason. So my option, or my decision, was just to tape it along there. Doesn't affect the range or anything. The brushless system is an Ace 40 amp, and it's a Ripper 3900 kV motor. So, and it's a full 540 motor. It's got plenty of power there. The Ace Cougar 2.4. I actually like this radio. It takes 6 AA's. Would have been nice if it was 4, but hey, it's better than 8. It has quite a your trim adjustments, dual rate, and one of the other adjustments is the throttle endpoints, which is kind of cool because my daughter wanted to drive it. She's 11. I can turn down the one of the endpoints, and even if she pulls full throttle, it'll do 10 miles an hour. So it's kind of like having a 50% mode or whatever, but you can adjust it however you want. So that was kind of nice. Oh, what else? Oh, the reason that I have short course tires is partly because I've been bashing it, and partly because this is what the stock tires look like after 5 packs. There's no tread there whatsoever. And it's not, and the wear is not even. Like some spots, there's still a little more side tread. It's just a very, very soft compound. If you drive this buggy out of the box on pavement, your tires will do this in 5 packs, almost guaranteed. There's nothing left there. They're wasted, completely wasted. And I drove it on a track when I first got it, and it was a paved track with jumps set up for short course, and it did pretty well. I raced along with B4s and a Durango, whatever the Durango 2-wheel drive is. The buggy could have done very well. I'm not as good at driving a buggy in racing. It's harder to drive a buggy on a racetrack than it is to say a 2-wheel drive short course track. You have a shorter wheelbase. These tires don't do so well on pavement. They do better on dirt. But still, it's $200 if you gear it up a little bit, and not all of them are going to have the servo issue or the slipper clutch issue that mine did out of the box. But it's certainly a very capable brushless system. It's a decent radio system. It is worth the $200. And it's kind of nice too that they're selling this, because anybody who has a B3 can go out and buy the Phoenix parts as replacement parts. Most of them are cast almost identical. The only real changes that they made is having some different size, like that's a different size wheel nut. The stub axle is the same, but it uses a smaller wheel nut than the B3 would have. And some hardware is Phillips and some is Hex, which is a little weird. Why use both? I don't know. Guess they just used what they had. But if you want a race buggy, this can compete. You have a tunable diff. The one thing I don't like is the only way to adjust the parameters of this speed control is with a program card. When I looked on eBay, it was like 25 bucks, which is a little steep if you ask me. But it would allow you to adjust the punch control and the braking force and stuff like that. The shocks are certainly good enough for racing. The tires, I mean, I guess they're soft. If you're racing on a dirt track, that's probably good. Probably means they would grab pretty well. But with any RTR vehicle, usually the tires aren't that great. Either they're too hard and last forever, or they fall apart quickly. So, but $200, ready to run, brushless. If you're looking for a 2-wheel drive, if you want something more bash worthy, I would suggest getting the XT, which is based off the T3. It's basically this, a little longer, a little wider, with stadium truck tires. That'd be a little better for off-roading. But it's certainly a model worth what I paid for it, and hopefully this review will help you if you were considering buying one or looking for another model to add to your collection.